So it seems like a lot of people are starting to feel the effects of these SAG-AFTRA strikes even further. Now, obviously, it's been very apparent for the past couple of months, especially with a lot of the voices being muted in the game. We had like Venti being muted. There's a whole kind of situation with that going on, where essentially, you know, there was an update of Genshin Impact where they returned to Mondstadt, and obviously one of the most beloved characters in Mondstadt wasn't even voiced. Now, I'm pretty sure they did work it out and tried to get, you know, Venti voiced by then, but it seems like this has happened again. Now, whenever it comes to these updates and some of the other updates, people don't really care too much about some random character not being voiced, especially some of these smaller ones and some of the ones that maybe aren't so liked. But it seems like one of the biggest impact characters is not going to be voiced for the next update, as Genshin Impact just had their biggest update, you know, patch in a little while, obviously with Skirk coming to the game. But this was the one thing that people were hung up about, which was Dainsleif. Now, if you don't know, Dainsleif is a very, very big part of Genshin Impact. He's the one that essentially, you know, you do a quest with him, you go around and you do a lot of lore to do with, you know, the Traveler's Past, everything like that. Now, this is one of the most looked forward to quests, one of the most looked forward to people, especially due to his character design, and, you know, a lot of people really like him. You know, it's the most looked forward to thing every time there's a new region that has come out, and obviously it's come to that time when Natlan now has their turn, but Dainsleif isn't voiced, and I think, you know, it really shows how much of an effect this EN voice actor strike is, you know, going to have. And they say these two showing up once a year only to be muted in EN is insane work. And saying Dainsleif and obviously Lumine as well. Now, Lumine also is not voiced in this new quest apparently, which again is pretty crazy, especially considering how many voice lines Lumine has to do, or even Aether has to do. But I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Aether is still being voiced, but if you do have Lumine, she 100% won't be voiced. The same with Dainsleif. Now, yeah, it seems like Genshin fans are not happy about this. It's got 5.2 thousand upvotes, which is absolutely crazy. So it seems like people have been taking to a lot of sites, you know, like Reddit, to kind of express their frustrations. Because, again, I think a Dainsleif quest relies heavily on the amount of dialogue and stuff that goes on to kind of give you a lot of hints and things at, you know, your character's past. But the thing is, with Dainsleif, you know, he's not going to be voiced, so what's the point? You know, the quest is going to be pretty terrible. And obviously, this is why people were saying they want these strikes to end. This is one of the main reasons why. It's because it is ruining the game. It's ruining the game massively. And, you know, if they don't deliver soon, if nothing happens soon, then Genshin Impact is going to lose a lot of players because, again, it's not good for them. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, because obviously the strike, it's due to the strikes, and a lot of these voice actors are on strike at the moment. I feel like, you know, a lot of people are just kind of advocating to come back. Now, I don't know where Dainsleif and Lumine's voice actors stand on whether, you know, they want to come back to, you know, the game or not. But again, we don't really know. But I think it is finally time that, you know, Hoyoverse does put their foot down and start to, you know, find replacements, start to find people to replace these voice actors who are just refusing to work. Because, as again, it was exposed very long ago that this is not a proper strike. This is just a refusal to work. People are just not going into work. And obviously, you know, Hoyoverse has every right to go and fire them and find a new voice actor. The same that they did with Kinage. Now, I think a lot of people would be afraid of being attacked, mainly due to what's happened in the past with Jacob Takanashi and with Paimon's voice actor essentially attacking them over on Twitter and making them seem like a bad person just for taking the job. So again, that could be a little bit of an issue, but I think it is time the Hoyoverse does, you know, step their foot down and be like, hey, you ever come to work, or we find someone to replace you, because it's affecting the game heavily. Now, it is Hoyoverse, and I feel like they've taken a step back from Genshin Impact at the moment, with, you know, they're more focused on other games like Honkai Star and Zalazan Zero, which are the ones that are going to be the future of the Hoyoverse games, compared to Genshin Impact, which is just trying to, you know, get as much money out of people at the moment. So again, it is one of these things that are very frustrating for a lot of fans. Obviously, if we go down to the comments, they say the fact there's no English dub trailer so far is only a downer for me. Now, again, I think a lot of people are kind of hoping that maybe they'll make an appearance later on, and maybe they'll like figure out the kind of voice acting side to this, because again, they showed the JP trailer, which means that usually there isn't very many EM voice actors that were involved in the trailer, so they just play the JP one instead. But again, we don't know. There's a pure disappointment as soon as you hear the JP version on the EN stream, which I think has become a little bit of a meme on, you know, the Genshin Impact live streams, which I thought was quite funny. They say they're still muted. Are you joking? I'm so tired. I'm genuinely tired. They say Dane is definitely muted and MCs too, I think. Small chance the MCs are voiced. If not both, only Aether. Dane is definitely muted though. If any MC is voiced, I wager it's Lamine. She's close friends to Erica, who has rejoined as Venti's role. Only thing we got for Zach is a cosplay, but we know he lets his agents handle things. So again, it seems like we're not going to be seeing any of these voice actors anytime soon. And yeah, they say the trailer being in JP is a dead giveaway. Someone is muted. Besides that, during the Dane Archon quest, do the MCs not the streams or not? Been a while since the strikes and the previous versions, and I got used to the 5.0 cast hosting some of the streams. So yeah, obviously they did like switch up to an EN voice acting, an EN voice acted like live stream where they explained all the updates coming out, which I think they just picked a cast that weren't on strike and a cast that was still working with Hoyo, and maybe that is due to the fact that I did look into the voice actor for, I think it was Skirk, and their voice actor does come from LA, and obviously we've seen a lot of people kind of moving over to the UK and other areas like that to kind of get better work and to get non-striked work. But it seems like they are kind of sticking kind of in the America area with them, with the Skirk voice actor actually being from LA and actually voicing on that live stream, so they had no issues with these strikes there. But it is going to be pretty interesting to see some of the future characters, because obviously Skirk has been known for, quite a while, ever since she made her reveal whenever the big whale showed up. So again, they probably sourced the voice actor back then. But it will be interesting to see for some of the future characters that come out, whether they are going to switch to British voice actors or some other voice actors, even if they do put on like an American accent or something to fit in better with the game. Because again, it's going to be very, it's going to be much better for Hoyo. And, whenever they do find these replacements for these people, I think that is one of the areas that they might try and go to. They say Hoyo is never going to sign the agreement, and the idiot higher-ups at SAG-AFTRA want to prolong the strike. So they're either going to go against SAG or risk being threatened or risk getting recast, which definitely is true. They say it's not a strike. The strike would have ended months ago and nothing would change for Genshin. They're just strong-arming Hoyo by telling VAs not to work in the hopes that Hoyo actually cares about them. Hoyo is just taking this slow and steady to replace the problematic VAs, which, yeah, I think they definitely are. I think they are slowly getting rid of some of the voice actors who become problematic. And this has been a little bit of a, I guess, like exposing thing that has been going on during all of this, because a lot of people have been, kind of outing themselves as quite horrible people in terms of voice actors. And, obviously Hoyo can see a lot of this, their behavior online and their behavior whenever it comes to, doing their job, that they can actually, go, okay, we might actually fire you and just find someone new who is, just much better to work with. They say if they make any agreement with SAG, then they'll face massive boycotts in the CM player base who hate SAG much more than we do. They should just recast all SAG already, which yeah, definitely is true. They say also, given the how much our current president hates China and SAG-AFTRA literally applauded him, I severely doubt they will ever sign. Let's see. By law, it's in in China, it's illegal to sign with SAG unless an exception is made. It's not gonna happen. None of this is never gonna happen. So yeah, it's just one of these things where, like, how much longer is this gonna go on for? Because it's gone on for too long. It's one of these things that's been going on for months and months and months now. And now you're ruining probably one of the best parts of Genshin Impact. Now, me personally, I don't play much Genshin Impact anymore. Maybe I've dropped in a couple of times every now and again, but I don't really play the quests or anything. And usually the Dainsleif quests are the ones that I still, respect. And I still think, oh, those were pretty good quests. I actually kind of enjoyed them. But now they've ruined that one too. I feel like Genshin Impact is well and truly cooked if they don't do anything about it, whether it comes to, firing voice actors, whether it comes to just doing literally anything to make this better. But, currently it seems like they haven't. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, this is a very, very big topic among a lot of the fans over on r/Genshin Impact. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you guys did enjoy this video. Also, go to Game Subs, use my code CASSA, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.